All right, so our learning target today, as you can see it's highlighted in yellow, is I can find the value of an exponential number. And we're actually going to break this down into 2 lessons because yesterday from your assignment that you did, I could see that we needed to work on exponents. And to be really honest, I figured we would need to, and that's okay because like I said, we've been out of school a long time. So let's look here. It says an exponent indicates how many times the base is used, and the base is the number. So this big 5 here, that's my base. That's my base. That is the only number that is multiplied. You don't multiply. This does not mean 5 times 3. The job of this exponent is it tells me how many times to multiply that 5. So 5 to the 3rd power, and that's how you would say that. 5 to the 3rd power means 5 times 5 times 5. That's what that problem right there is telling me to do. 5 times 5 times 5. Now notice, the only thing that's being multiplied is that 5, isn't it? But how many 5s do we see? 1, 2, 3. Why? Because that exponent is a 3. Now we're in 6th grade now, so we don't always use that x as our time sign. As you can see down here, I've written it 5 times 5 times 5 using that dot. And we're going to get more to using that dot for our time sign, and side by side, that'll come in a few days. But right now, let's get used to using that dot. And the reason we want to get away from the x as our time sign, this x up here, is because when we get into algebra, x can also be a variable. So it could be confusing. Does that mean for me to multiply, or does that mean a variable? So that's why we're going to start using this 5 times 5 times 5 with the dots. Okay? Sorry, I'm going to do some more examples right here. So let's say we had, do a different color. Let's say you had 4 to the 2nd power. The 4 is going to be multiplied, and you need 2 of them. So that would mean 4 times 4. If I had 8 to the 4th power, that 8 is what's going to be multiplied, and I need 4 of them. So that would be 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. Now you get a problem like that, you're going to be really happy when Miss Pendleton lets you have a calculator. Okay, let's say we had 7 to the 3rd power. That 7 is what's going to be multiplied. How many 7s do I need? 3. So that would be 7 times 7 times 7. So the big number is what is multiplied, and the little number tells us how many times to write it. Okay, so let's look at this other example. What if I gave it to you backwards and I said, write 3 times 3 times 3 using an exponent? Well, what number is being multiplied over and over and over again? The 3. So that's going to be my big number. That's going to be my base. How many 3's do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 3 to the 4th. The 3 is my big number because it's what's being multiplied over and over and over again. The 4 is my exponent because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 3's. Okay, the next example says, write 4 to the 5th power as a product. That means a multiplication problem. Then find the value. Since the base is 4 and the exponent is 5, you would solve it by multiplying. So guys, what's going to be multiplied over and over and over again? Right, the 4, because that's my base. How many 4's do I need? 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it says to solve it. So you're going to take your calculator and you're going to put in that problem in your calculator. Now, I'm going to do another video in a minute about how to use the calculator, because it's a trick to that, and sometimes if you're not careful, you can put in too many 4s, or you can put in not enough 4s. So right now I want you to take your calculator and I want you to put that in. And here's what you should get, 1,024. Even if you haven't got that done yet, I want you to put that in your calculator and see if you get that 1,024. All right. So what's being multiplied over here? We want to write this as an exponent. So what's being multiplied over and over and over and over again here? 7. So 7's going to be my big number, my base number. How many 7s do we see? 1, 2, 3. So the 3 is going to be my exponent. Part B here. I'm looking at this one. What number is being multiplied over and over and over and over again? The 10. So the 10 will be my base. How many 10s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5 will be my exponent. All right, let's look at C and D down here. Write each power as a product of the same factor, then find the value. So it wants us to write it out. Product means to multiply. It wants us to write it out as a multiplication problem. So this 2 to the third power. 2 is my base. 2 is the big number. So that's what's going to be multiplied over and over again. How many 2's do I need? 3 of them, because that's my exponent. So it would be 2 times 2 times 2. And then put that in your calculator and see what that would equal. And that would be 8. Because 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, here, 8 is my base. So that's the number that's going to be multiplied over and over and over again. 2 is my exponent, so that means I need 2 8s. So that would be 8 times 8. And what does that equal? 64. So this is what we're going to practice today. We're going to practice me giving you like this. 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. And you changing that to an exponent number. Making it look like an exponent. Making it look like one of these. So, what's being multiplied over and over and over again? The 9. So that's my base. That's my big number. How many 9's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 would be my exponent. So that's changing it to an exponent number. And then sometimes I will have this. And I'll ask you what problem would solve this. And the 3 is my big number, so the 3 is what I'm going to multiply over and over and over again. And since 5 is my exponent, that means I need, so you would be looking for 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And that's what we're going to focus on today, to be able to do it. Change it from this to that, or to change it from that to this. So you understand what an exponent means. And then I just threw this in here. And you very, very rarely will see this, but anytime your base is a 0, you don't have to do any figuring. If your base is a 0, the answer is always 1. Always, 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 always. All right. Hope you watch this before the Google Meet. We'll talk about this a little bit during the Google Meet, and then I will show you your practice problems.